What's going on, everybody? This is Joe.
And Amy.
And we are back with another MTG Arena video. Last time, we finished off a draft, kind of, but not really. If you didn't stay till the end of last week's video and you're wondering why aren't they continuing their drafts, well, because the ranked draft currently is Guilds of Ravnica, but the last time you were here, we were doing a ranked draft of Theros Beyond Death, and apparently they cannot be going on at the same time, so our ranked draft ended at the end of the last one, and we didn't get to finish it.
We never got to play it.
No. We received our prizes, which is cool, right? It gave us our prizes and stuff, but that was kind of the end of it. And so when we logged in today, those were our options. So the cool thing now is that there's this thing up here, the World's 26 Showcase. Well, what is that, you ask? Well, if you're unfamiliar, I explained this a bit to Amy earlier, but World Championship 26 is going on right now, and it tells you about it here. The Magic World Championship 26 is happening this weekend on MTG Arena. Tune in to live event coverage, and you can click here to watch that, and see which of the 16 incredible competitors will win the title of World Champion, and their share of the $1 million prize pool. Join the fun, and hashtag find your champion by selecting a Worlds competitor. We'll provide decks for use during this event. Matches are best of one, and you can swap decks between games. So, Amy, would you like to see the different decks that you would have the opportunity to choose between for this event?
Sure. Let's take a look.
Perfect. So, here are your choices. Now, obviously, the names of the decks are the names of the players.
Okay.
And you have somewhat of the stalwart of the deck as the deck box art. And it shows you what colors are in use in the deck.
Okay.
So for those of you unfamiliar with this channel in general, I am a little bit more of an experienced player, although I will say that I am not a heavy standard player, so I think I'll be slightly out of my element here, but I am aware of Magic. I've been playing for many years, whereas Amy is not as experienced of a player. And so this is going to be...
I've played a handful of times, and it was never good.
So this is going to be a bit of an experiment, kind of in both directions. So if that's something that you're interested in seeing, please come along and join us. But if you're like, oh, they're not going to be playing it as optimally as possible, spoilers, absolutely not.
No.
So we're going to be making mistakes often. And if that's something that's going to tilt you out, then this may not be the video for you.
Then go ahead.
We're trying some stuff out here. So please bear with us as we do. But Amy, are there any colors or combinations of colors and or box arts that jump out to you on this page?
So I really like the black, red, green with the cat.
I thought this might be something you'd be interested in. Okay.
As I know that cat was a particularly good card.
Yes, it's probably a food deck or a food sacrifice deck of some kind.
Yes. I love this mosaic art, though. It's incredible.
That's just Elspeth.
I know.
I mean, not that that's a bad thing. Just...
No, I know. And all three of those decks are all white-blue.
Correct.
So I would assume that that's probably a pretty good deck.
But if you look, I mean...
I'm not really a fan of blue.
Sure. Well, and if you look, 1, 2, 3, 4 are mono red. 1, 2, 3, 4 are those combination. And 1, 2, 3 are 4 are all those combinations. So it's not like this is really the only outlier.
That's the standout.
All of the others are separate from one another, are duplicates of one another.
And I do love that combo with the cat and
Witch's Oven, and it's Witch's Oven combined with the cat, and then Sir Conrad is also spectacular with that cat. So. Okay. But, and I will say, obviously, just because these three are all this color and they all have Elspeth there may be slight variations in the decks. And again, we can click on them and look, but I don't think that's really as much what we care about.
Right.
I will say, for me personally, I'd rather you didn't pick one of these, just because Fires of Invention seems like a little bit complex. Whereas any of the other ones I'd be okay with. Any of the Uro, these are the, this is the Simic... Titan here that we're seeing on the deck box art.
Okay, and then they just have some red thrown in there to like be more aggressive. Is that what it is?
That is a good question, Amy. I don't play current standard, so I don't know. I will note, besides these decks here, Every other deck is at least part red, so
Yes.
even this
Well,
one here.
I love
so.
red. I love green because Gruel all the way.
Yeah.
And then black was pretty good in this set, so
Okay.
I have to say that that's still my favorite.
No, that's fine. I mean, and you mentioned not liking blue, so
Yes.
this one kind of gets knocked out. And then if
Yes.
you want green as well, then this one gets knocked out.
Right.
So, okay. Then it looks like we're playing Peter Glogowski's. So let's go back. Do you want to look at the deck first or kind of go in completely blind?
I'm good with blind.
Ooh. Fancy. Okay. Let's choose our deck as this one. Submit. Are you ready?
I am.
I'm not.
It's easy to be ready when you've got nothing to lose. So for you, it's a bit more difficult, I assume.
Yeah. Okay, so it's Geek for All versus Elbow Cheese. Gross.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we have a swamp, a forest, and a fabled passage.
Ooh.
And since this is a 3-color deck, do we keep this hand? We have a single black.
Okay.
Witch's Oven is 1 mana of any color. Liliana is 6 mana, and this
Ugh.
Thrashing Brontodon is 3, but 2 of it needs to be green. So notably, we have
Brontodon only costs 3?
yeah, it's a
does he
3/4.
do?
It's a 3/4, and then you can tap 1, sack it, and destroy an artifact or enchantment.
Oh. All right.
But otherwise, it's a 3/4 creature. So.
I don't hate this hand, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know.
No, that's fine. I mean, so here's the thing, right? Fabled Passage, you would think you would use to go get red, but with this hand, it looks like you would go get a green, right? Like,
Yeah.
or another black or whatever. But we're
right.
kind of far away from Liliana,
Yeah,
whereas
no.
if we get a green, we have the Brontodon. So
Okay.
I think the hand is fine either way, to be honest
All
with
right.
you.
I like this little arcade here. This is cool.
Oh, the land here with all, or
Yeah.
the field here with all the spectators and everything?
Yeah, it's cool.
It's kind of cool, right? Do we just do this now? Yes, we do it now. We're not going to have 4 other lands, so whatever. We'll just have a tapped green. Is that what we've agreed to?
Yep.
Do you notice we have 3, 4, 5, 6? We only have that many basics to choose from. We only had 8 basics in the whole deck.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Because all the others are non-basics because it's standard.
Oh.
So they're like temples and stuff like that.
Oh,
probably.
okay.
Like
Cool.
dual land or dual colored lands. But we haven't seen any of them. See? Temples. What did I tell you? And we drew the green anyway. Well, fine, I guess. All right. So turn 1, Cauldron Familiar. Or turn 2, I guess. Cauldron Familiar and Witch's Oven.
Yeah.
Pass, I guess.
All right.
So we can do this whenever we want. And just...
Is he aware what colors our deck are?
if they're familiar with the meta, then yes. But
Oh.
otherwise, no.
Because I was like, he sees that we have a green land out, but
Yeah.
we only have 2 black. Or no, I guess that's an
Artifact.
artifact.
Yeah.
So it's not really a black.
Yeah.
It just looks very black.
Yeah. Okay, so now we've sacrificed our Cauldron Familiar.
Okay.
We're going to make a food.
Okay.
And then we're going to, still at the end of their turn, we're going to sacrifice that food and get this Cauldron Familiar back.
Okay.
And then they lose 1, we gain 1.
Food decks! Yeah, pretty insane.
Yeah, it's
Pretty
really good.
insane.
Okay, so here's an Overgrown Tomb.
Okay.
but we-
that's a cool art.
Yeah,
oh,
it
I
is.
love that.
But we don't want to do that right now because then we'd have to take 2. Although I guess we don't care. We're at 20, right? So I guess we just do it anyway. Sure. Pay the 2 life. Let's go to combat and attack for 1. Because if they kill it, we just sacrifice it in response with the Witch's Oven, and we don't care. Because they have 2 mana and they're part blue, so there's like counterspell possibilities and stuff, but yeah, we just attack for now. We can get in for, like, 1 point of incidental damage is still a big deal when we're sacking this every turn to drain them, so... then we play this Thrashing Brontodon. If they choose to counter it, they can choose to counter it. They didn't, and we end our turn.
I actually love that our avatars are the photos of
The players
creators
whose
of the
decks?
deck.
Sure.
I think that's super cool.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Again, people were on Wizards for not, like, making celebrities out of their players.
Yeah.
And this is a really good way of doing that, I think. All right, so they're scrying 2 and drawing a card with the Omen, because Omen of the Sea is fantastic. They put them both on top and drew, and that's the end of our turn. So now it's their turn. I will say it's actually kind of intimidating seeing a picture of a pro on the other side, because you're like, oh god, I'm playing against a pro. No, I'm not. It's just a pro's
just
deck.
A guy. It's just a guy with elbow cheese, you know? I'm sorry.
Hey, look, Castle Vantra. Oh, it's Teferi.
Oops. Welp.
So they can bounce something.
There's not a don't resolve button.
I mean, yeah, it's called counterspells in blue.
It's called concede.
I should have known that Teferi was a thing that was going to be a problem. All right, so they're returning our Brontodon to our hand, and then they draw a card. Sure. That happens. Pass to attackers, and before my turn, let's activate this Witch's Oven, sacrificing our cat. And then getting our cat back. Sacrificing this food. And then they go to 16 and we go to 21. Hey, we drew Agonizing Remorse. Ooh. So we can make them reveal their hand, which is currently full, by the way. We choose a non-land card from it or a card from their graveyard and exile that card, and we lose 1 life.
I remember not loving this card.
In Limited.
In Limited, correct.
You're going to see what options we have to choose from in their hand.
Ooh.
This is a 3/5. Well, so, okay, they have 3 mana right now, but 3 more in their hand. Okay. Elspeth Conquers Death is 5 mana for a saga. When it comes in, exile a permanent that we control with converted mana cost 3 or greater. Spoilers, it's going to be our Witch's Oven. The second chapter is that non-creature spells we cast cost 2 more until our next turn, and then they can return a creature or planeswalker from their graveyard to the battlefield, and with a counter or a loyalty counter on it. They can destroy all creatures, they can counter a spell, or they can have a Dream Trawler. I would want to get rid of this Elspeth Conqueror's Death.
That sounds right to me.
And it exiles, so they do not get to play it again. We'll play our Forest. We will go to combat, and we will attack Teferi for 1 and kill him, hopefully. Yes. Yeah. Good. And without Elspeth Conquers Death around, it's harder for them to get it out again. So they have a counterspell here, notably.
Okay.
They're not going to be targeting
the art on that card. Yes. It's so badass.
They're not going to be targeting a blue spell with it.
Okay.
Pass to attackers. And it would be my turn, but let's activate Witch's Oven, sacking this. We're just going to do this every turn. Spoilers.
That's what it's here for.
Oh, ooh. This can be countered, I think. Oh. So let's pass to my turn. Hey, look! Okay, so here's what we'll do. We will sack the food to see if they counter it. I doubt they do. It would be countered unless we paid 3. Okay, so we drain them. Then we play another one, which they also can't counter, because it's counter unless we pay 3, which we would do. What we would let them counter right now is our Thrashing Brontodon if they really want to. Okay, so we throw that out there as kind of like a, fine, do it if you want to.
Right, okay.
You know?
Yeah.
And they're more than welcome. Yes, and they do. That's perfectly fine. We did it on purpose. They knew we had it in our hand, so it would never have been a surprise. We do not see any artifacts or enchantments on their side or even in their hand that we would yet want to get rid of. This card is terrifying, though, notably. All right, we'll pass to attackers. And then we will sacrifice this to make a food. And then bring it back. And sack a food to do it. Now, they can counter this as well. But they didn't have it, so good. Because they do have 1,000,000 mana open. And we know almost everything in their hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we take 2 damage when we play this and bring us to 21, we can play Liliana this turn.
Wow.
Now, notably, notice what that says. Whenever a creature you control dies, that includes when we sacrifice our cats, we draw a card.
Okay.
So we'll play this.
Sweet.
Pay the 2 life. Now, really, really don't have that counterspell. Let's attack first. Okay, they're at 11.
Nice.
Don't counter it. Don't counter it. Don't counter it. Yes!
It comes down.
Awesome.
Loyal and silent.
Okay.
Okay, so now we play and make a zombie. Okay. Let's end our turn, and she's laughing quite a bit. Okay, so our -9, so they're going to scry. Each opponent chooses a permanent they control of each permanent type and sacrifices the rest. That includes lands, by the way. They get 1 land out of all of them. 1 land, 1 creature, 1 enchantment, 1 artifact, etc.
Okay.
Now, notably, they do have Shatter the Sky at any point that they want to play it. Each player who controls a creature with power 4 or greater draws a card, then destroy all creatures. Now, Liliana's here, so they're not going to want to do that because we draw 3 cards.
Oh, she's not a creature.
She's
She's
not a creature.
planeswalker.
Correct, exactly. So, they do have Dream Trawler, which they can play now. It is a 3/5 flying lifelink. Whenever you draw a card, it gets... Oh, they do use it. All right, well, we'll use Witch's Oven first, I guess, and sacrifice a Cauldron Familiar. And one of our creatures died, so we draw a card. It was another Cauldron Familiar.
Amazing. Oh my god, right, yes, so I am so pleased that we picked this deck.
Okay, we draw 2 more cards. Agonizing Remorse and a land.
And Cauldron Familiar.
We pass to their attackers, and on our turn, before our turn, we get a cat back by sacking a food. Perfect. Now we have a Mayhem Devil if we want it. Whenever a player sacrifices a permanent, which we do with the Witch's Oven, Mayhem Devil deals 1 damage to any target.
Nice.
Alright, so let's play a Blood Crypt. Pay 2 life. Let's play a Cauldron Familiar. We know half of their hand. I don't know what you're singing, but I'm going to keep going.
I'm singing The Cat Came Back the very next day.
Good. Good choice. All right, and then we'll play this Agonizing Remorse. Okay, so they got Narset. Nice. Each opponent can't draw more than 1 card each turn, so that would be a problem with our Liliana. And -2, look at the top 4 cards of their library. They may reveal a non-creature, non-land from among them and put it into their hand, and the rest on the bottom of their library in a random order. Now, the thing is, they are currently at 9, and they have no creatures but this Dream Trawler. They do have another Shadow the Sky, though, notably. So they can do that and kill everything, but we would draw like 1,000,000 cards. So do we want to draw 1,000,000 cards, or do we want them to not have any creatures and get rid of their Dream Trawler?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
It is a tough one.
Because what could we really do about their Dream Trawler?
Nothing. It could be a 5/5 flying lifelink every turn.
And what could we do about Narset?
I mean, it's a Planeswalker. We could kill it if we get rid of the Dream Trawler.
Sounds like we're getting rid of the Dream Trawler then.
It's a good call. Okay. Let's plus up Liliana. Get another zombie. And we can't go to combat.
And shine.
Oh, we can with the cat. The cat attacks for 1. Okay. Now, they can board wipe again with the Shadow of the Sky. But we can always Witch's Oven one of the cats away. Yup.
Yeah, if they do that.
So it doesn't resolve. We will get rid of this one, I guess. It doesn't really matter. But we sacrifice something, so the Mayhem Devil's ability goes off. 1 damage to any target. It will be our opponent. Spoilers. We draw a card. It's a Stomping Ground. Now that resolves. Everything dies. We draw 3 more cards.
Very sweet. Cat keeps coming back.
1, 2, 3.
Nice.
Yeah, very nice.
Gilded Goose.
Oh, good.
Oh, they conceded.
I mean, they should have. We had 2 cards that would have made us more food tokens to get the cats back every turn.
Yeah. No,
yeah,
I am very happy with this deck. Thank you, Peter. That's his name? Peter?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Peter.
Hey, we got a reward from it, too. This was a free event, and we got I think that was us completing tasks and stuff.
Okay.
But the XP is actually from the event itself, so that's really cool.
Great.
Yeah, if we win, like, you get 1,000 experience per win, and then at the end you get a sleeve. You get sleeves for your deck, World Championship sleeves.
1 win, half wins. 3 wins.
No. one win, 1 of 2 wins, and 3 wins. So
it's like half wins?
We have won 1 of 2 wins to get to this goal,
okay,
which is what we're going towards next. Are you ready to keep playing this deck?
I sure am. It's a great deck.
Okay. We had 3 of our 4 cats, because again, obviously, with Constructed Magic, you have playsets, right? So we can only have 4 cats in the deck, and we had 3 of 4 of them. Ooh.
So we're playing against Autumn's deck.
Yes. Okay, interestingly, we have Overgrown Tomb. We have black with the Overgrown Tomb. We have red and we have green. We have the Mayhem Devil, which is 1
Nice.
black-green, or black-red. The Gilded Goose is 1 green, and the Witch's Oven as well. Now, when this enters, you make a food. You can tap 2, tap it, and make a food, or you can tap sack a food and add 1 mana of any color.
Wow.
And then Massacre Girl is 5 mana. Wow, I can't speak.
I remember her being good.
She's quite good. Okay, so you're good with this hand?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. All right. The thing is, though, we're gonna probably Overgrown Tomb turn 1.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna. Oh, we drew the black too. Okay,
Oh.
so we're fine. We'll do this. Gilded Goose. We can do this later. There was a little egg that turned into a pig, apparently.
Hey, I'll trade eggs for pig meat any day.
That's weird. That's a
I feel
weird
like,
thing.
you know.
Okay, Agonizing Remorse. You ready?
Yeah.
What do you think of this card? Better in Standard?
Oh, it's way better in Standard, obviously, but also like.
Okay, so they have an Omen. They have Expansion Explosion. They can copy an instant or a sorcery with converted mana cost 4 or less, and they can choose new targets for the copy. That can be ours or theirs. And Explosion deals X damage to any target. Target player draws X cards, but it's at minimum 5 mana to do 1 damage and draw 1 card. So there's that.
Yikes.
Thassa's Intervention is X blue. They can either counter a spell unless its controller pays twice X, or they can look at the top X cards of the library, put up to 2 of them into their hand, and the rest on the bottom of their library in a random order.
Oh, so this is a picture of Thassa as well on
Yes.
the Omen of the Sea.
Correct.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yes. And then Brazen Borrower is 1 blue for a 3/1 flash flying. Brazen Borrower can block only creatures with flying, or they can do Petty Theft, 1 and a blue, return a non-land permanent that we control to our hand. So
Okay.
I think we get rid of this thing. I know that was a lot to look at.
Yeah, it
but-
has flying
Yes.
and flash. I mean,
and it's got 3 power.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this has flying too, but this
Oh.
doesn't have any power.
Right.
So
It's still kind of useless.
we can still play Witch's Oven. Yeah, we can play Witch's Oven.
Oh.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Pay 1? Wait, what?
Oh.
What are you talking about? Oh, it doesn't matter. Damn it. We ran out of time. That's what happens when Joe doesn't play Standard, everybody. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I'm like, why
I
is it
didn't
asking me to do
either.
that? Because it's any mana of any color, so you had to pick a color.
Oh.
And I just didn't do it. It was super annoying. Sorry, everybody. Choose attackers. No attacks. Now we can do it second main.
Okay.
Okay. Black. Who cares? And sack this food. And we play Witch's Oven. End our turn. Next turn we play this and play Mayhem Devil.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like a good Mayhem Devil.
I'm sure
who
you do.
doesn't?
Oh, good. We get to play against Uro. So when it enters, they sack it.
Ew.
But also when it enters, they
That graphic is gross.
Yes. They gain 3 life, draw a card, and then they can put a land from their hand onto the battlefield, and they have a Steam Vents right here.
Ooh.
At least. If not, one of these other 2. But yeah, it's Steam Vents. And then they sack it because it did not escape. Now they can escape it for green, blue, and exile 5 other cards from their graveyard. But then they have a 6/6.
Yeah.
All right, it's our turn. We have another Mayhem Devil.
Sweet.
Interesting. Let's play this Mayhem Devil out. And pass, I guess. We can't attack with this O2 flyer. I mean, we could, but then we would just have a tapped creature for no reason.
I mean, that Gilded Goose.
Yeah,
I so want to tap it.
you're so weird. All right, so yeah, we could play another Mayhem Devil next turn, and then the turn after, if we draw a land over the next 2 turns, we would have Massacre Girl. Whenever a creature dies this turn, each creature other than Massacre Girl gets -1/-1 until end of turn, and when she enters, everything gets -1/-1 until end of turn. The question is, do we sack this? I don't think we do. All right, we get another Overgrown Tomb, so this one can enter tapped. The next one can't if we don't draw another land. Let's go to combat first. We'll do the right thing. They have Counterspell, Copying, and Dealing Damage. So right now, do they have enough blue and red? Yes, they do. 2 and 2 and 1. So they could still deal 1 damage, but whatever. We're not too worried about that. We know half of their hand. Go to damage. 18. We're now winning life total-wise, but only life total-wise. They do have a pretty strong start here. All right, so they're going to counter this, I assume? That's what they're thinking. Yes. Counter unless we pay twice X. X is 2. So we would have to pay 4, which we clearly cannot do. I will decline to pay 4. We can only pay 1 with the Gilded Goose sacking of food if we sacked itself. I don't think that even works that way. So no, we have no opportunity to do that. Okay, pass to attackers, and it's our turn, which we will take. Oh, we drew God Eternal Bond 2.
Ooh.
So we pay the 2 life to have that enter untapped. When this enters, we sack any number of other permanents and then draw that many cards. When it dies or is put into exile from the battlefield, we can put it into our library, 3rd from the top, and it's a 5/6 with Menace.
Jesus Christ.
I say we sack the Goose and the Witch's Oven. We're going to draw another Witch's Oven, and we don't have a cat yet. But I think we can draw 2 cards here for a 5/6.
Yeah.
Okay. They can counter this, I guess? No, they can't. They don't have the counter spell.
Sweet.
Okay. Sack our 2 things, draw 2 cards. Oh, and we deal 1 damage to them. And we deal 1 damage to them, because we sacked 2 things. Mayhem Devil deals 2 damage. That's... They draw a card and put a land from their hand on the battlefield. Or
Spiral.
may put a land for... Yeah, it's a good card. They did not have a land, it seems. We will attack them for 3. They go to 13 if they take it. They have a Brazen Borrower, which bounces our Bond 2.
Oh.
Okay. Corvold, Fey-Cursed King, by the way. When it enters or attacks, sack another permanent. Oh, God, there's so many things going on. Okay. So when this enters or attacks, we sack another permanent. Whenever we sack a permanent, put a +1/+1 counter on him and draw a card.
Sweet.
Now, does this say creature? No, it says permanent. Holy crap. Okay.
Dang.
Trail of Crumbs. When it enters, we make a food. Whenever we sack a food, we can pay 1. And if we do, look at the top 2 cards of our library. We can reveal a permanent from among them, put it into our hand, and the rest on the bottom in any order.
No, food is not a permanent, I suppose.
It is. It absolutely is.
It is?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So do we just play this, or do we play Bond 2? I guess we play Bond 2. It seems like they're trying to bait us into not doing it. Maybe we play Corvold then? Or we play Massacre Girl.
Don't ask me at this point.
Damn it.
I think every one of our cards is incredible, and so I think ultimately we're going to win no matter what.
I'm going to try Massacre Girl. They know we have Bond 2, but I don't really care as much. Sure, that happens. It's pre-combat, which is kind of stupid on my part, but that's fine. I'll just say oops. Oops. We missed out on 1 point of damage. If we lose when they're at 1, then it's my fault. Oh, it's whenever anyone sacks a permanent, they sacked their Omen of the Sea.
Sweet.
So there we go. We got an extra point, that extra point of damage that I messed up.
All right.
They put them 1 on top, 1 on bottom. They still have Uro. They still have Brazen Borrower. Temple of Abandon enters and they scry 1.
Beautiful art on that.
Yeah. They have they kept it on top. Storm's Wrath, 4 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. Okay, glad we didn't play out Corvold.
Yeah.
We have a land.
Okay.
And now we can do what I wanted to originally.
Okay.
Which is, the reason I did it this way is because we played a 5-drop last turn. And now we can play Trail of Crumbs.
Okay.
They can't, we know everything in their hand. Because it's this, and then these are available to them, but not in their hand.
Mm-hmm.
So we play this. When it enters, we create a food. And then we have Thrashing Brontodon as well for 3. So we use as much of our mana as physically possible. And then I guess there's no, we can't do anything. So we just end our turn. Now we do have 1 mana. Okay, so they play their 3/1 Flash Flyer. That's fine. And we end our turn. So now at any time, we can tap 1, sacrifice this, and destroy an artifact or an enchantment. And they do have an enchantment right here. We take 3. And go to 14. Because they have a 3-powered flyer. Do they play Uro now? I feel like they do.
Does our dragon have flying?
Yes. And they don't know that we have it. Okay, so they played a land. Yeah, they said oops. They played a land, but they didn't do anything else. I guess it's my turn then. Hey, look, Agonizing Remorse. So we can... we can exile Uro? Oh, we can exile Uro.
Oh, that's shitty.
That's amazing. We won't be
Shitty
able to.
for them.
We won't be able to
It's a
play
shitty
anything
thing
else.
to do.
We won't be able to play anything else this turn, but I think it's worth it. Let's attack first. But yeah, it's definitely worth getting rid of their Uro. They have nothing else going on.
For sure.
Now, notably, they can copy it and take one of our cards as well.
Oh, okay.
But if they take Bond 2, it goes into our deck third from the top. And if they take the king, then yeah, they take the king. But we win this race. Because we're both dealing 3 damage, but they're at a lower life total.
Yeah.
Right? So we're going to Agonizing
they're at
Remorse.
half of us.
Yeah, look, they moused over Uro there. So they can't... Not that I... Okay. They can... Again, they can choose to copy it with this. But that's it. But that's it. They keep looking at their Wilderness Reclamation. It allows that at the beginning of their end step, they untap all lands they control. Which is bad for us when they have instants and sorceries, or instants, really, that they can play. But, okay. So they're going to deal 4 damage to us and bring us to 10. But I wasn't going to take that card at all, my friend. In fact, now I get to see all the cards you just drew. Look at all these Uros. Oh my god.
Jesus. Okay.
Alright, well I guess we pick one of them anyway. Like, it doesn't matter if it's one in their graveyard or one in their hand. So we might as well do that. Yeah, they conceded. They messed up real bad.
Yeah,
They messed up real bad. They drew 4 cards, and then we got to see all 4 of them and pick from those. So
right, that
they were
sucks.
up. Yeah, it's... Hey, look, I don't play Standard either, right? Like, I just said that, so...
Yeah.
I don't blame them for being upset and conceding.
Yeah, no.
Okay, we have one more win left, and we win this whole event, so...
That sounds good to me.
Why don't we try it? If we lose this one, we may, like, stop the video here, just because it's kind of a longer video.
Right.
But we'll see.
Okay.
Okay, we play against Lef. Not Jeff, Lef. Alright, so Trail of Crumbs for 2. We have Fabled Passage and 2 Blood Crypts and a Swamp. But we have Agonizing Remorse and Massacre Girl. Keep or mulligan?
Oh, I guess we can keep.
Yeah, I think so. The issue is, right, with Trail of Crumbs, but we don't have anything for turn 1 anyway, so we might as well Fabled Passage and then use it to get a forest. That's a really cool art. Or animation.
Yeah.
That. We got a forest, and then next turn we have our choice between Trail of Crumbs and Agonizing Remorse. I think it's this, but you tell me. Ooh, a Gilded Goose. Alright, so what do you think? This?
Yeah.
Just see what they're working with?
Yeah.
Have full view of their entire hand? Well, we can exile Uro again. Or Brazen Borrower. Either way. Like, those are both fine choices. Like, Opt is whatever. Wilderness Reclamation is whatever. Brazen Borrower's good.
Yeah.
Uro is probably better.
Yeah.
In fact, if we
one that we should.
Right. Well, because if we save our Massacre Girl for after this comes out, this dies when we play Massacre Girl.
Oh. Okay.
Because everything gets -1/-1, and it only has 1 toughness.
Nice.
So
okay.
yeah, we choose Uro
no.
here. We're at 19, but that was definitely worth it. Those Titans are terrifying.
For sure.
Okay, they took 2 damage to play Steam Vents, but then didn't play anything. But I guess they have up the bounce on Brazen Borrower. We will play a Blood Crypt tapped here. Enters tapped. And then we can play Trail of Crumbs. So please bounce this back to our hand. Because when it enters... Oh, they counter it. Okay, they drew a negate. You countered our... That's fine. That's more than fine. I'd rather they counter that than this.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so they scry 1 and draw a card on their own turn on main phase. That's not my opinion of the best way to play a blue deck, but what do I know? Okay, so this is the 4th turn. So we can play Stomping Ground tapped. play a Gilded Goose.
It's so dumb that has like an animation.
It squawks. This is a good card. This is a very good card.
It is?
Yes.
Okay.
It makes food for 2 mana and tap it.
Yeah, but it's a
They play
bird.
another opt. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. It's a bird?
I have a vendetta against birds.
Yeah, feel free to watch our Pokemon series on our Video Games for All channel, and you'll see what Amy's talking about. Okay, Castle Vantress. When it enters, so they can tap 4, tap it, and scry 2. They have
love
another Uro.
that art so much.
Do you like that art?
No, that's gross.
All right, so they gain 3 life, draw a card, and they can play another land, of which they have at least 1 here. But then it dies because it didn't escape. Okay. Pass to attackers. It's our turn. Okay. So the issue now is, it would be better to play Massacre Girl after they've played Brazen Borrower. But we have literally nothing else going on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, neither do they.
I mean, they can play Uro next turn.
Oh, I thought they had to wait.
Well, they can... Oh, right. Sorry. They have 4 cards in their graveyard. They need 1 more card in their graveyard, and then they can play Uro.
Okay.
So, yeah, I guess we can wait. That's a good point. It enters tapped, and we pass. Massacre Girl will be our, hopefully, next... Well, actually, I'd like to draw some gas and not land. We've been drawing a lot of land. A lot of land. Wilderness Reclamation resolves. So at the beginning of their end step, they untap all their lands, as we've learned. And they ended their turn. So, yeah, awesome. We drew a cat.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay, let's play a forest. Let's play a cat. Do they counter it?
Why would you play the forest?
Because we have 2 black sources in Blood Crypt and a swamp.
Oh, I forgot to look at those.
So we have...
I was like, we need to play Massacre Girl. Like,
Yeah.
we need to have black out.
Yeah, no, we have 3 black sources, and now we have 3 green sources as well.
Nice.
Sometimes I don't blame you, because sometimes that would just be a stupid move on my part. But that time I actually thought it out, I promise.
Okie doke. Well, I'm glad I asked then.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's a good thing to point out, right? Like, call me on my nonsense. It's better than me going, like, 5 turns from now going, oh, I should have done this instead. Being super wrong. Yeah, see, they've done nothing. They're just drawing cards. Okay. Well, we have a Mayhem Devil, so let's play a land. And let's go to combat, I guess? Yeah, combat seems good here. For 1. Take 1. Yeah. Then we
It's
play
like
Mayhem.
when like a little kid kicks you in the ankle.
Yeah.
Take that!
He's like, ah, God,
And you're
why?
just like, oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Stop turning.
But it's annoying still. Oh, good, they bounce it to our hand. I don't necessarily care. But good, now they feel confident enough and can play it. Yes! Yes! Good.
Good.
Now I'm happy.
Good.
Resolves. Okay, so at the end of their turn, let's make a food for 2. Why not? We can do it. And it's
Dinner
before
for
our turn.
2.
Oh, that was at the end of... That's all right. I thought that was... They were doing that at the end of our turn, because this says flash.
Oh.
I forgot. That's my fault. But that's actually fine, because now they know I'm not blocking, so they can hit me. Oh, they didn't attack. Well, sorry, I guess.
All right.
I'm not really sorry. Here comes Massacre Girl. Fun times all around. Don't counter it. Yes! Yes! Everything dies. Gilded Goose also dies. But that's just fine.
It's a bird, so it deserves it.
Wow. Again, we can still play another one, though. And we make a food.
It's such like a dumb animation too. It looks stupid. It's just like
Can we... Oh, we have to tap it to do that, so we don't have enough mana to play the Mayhem Devils, so we pass. Massacre Girl's pretty great. We can attack for 5 next turn, if we remember to play this when we're supposed to.
well,
Again, not
I
guaranteed.
Guess we'll find out.
Pass to attackers. And before they untap all their lands, I'm going to sack one of my 3 food to get my cat back. Thank you. And then you lose 1, we gain 1. Boom. Beautiful. And we drew a Gilded Goose. All right, so let's play this Mayhem Devil that they're presumably going to counter in some way. No, they're sure not. All right, let's go to combat. Let's attack for 5. Not the goose.
Why not the goose?
Because it has no power.
Why not the goose?
Okay, so they're playing a Brazen Borrower to bounce our Massacre Girl.
Bounce the goose.
Okay, and then they're playing it again to block the cat, I assume, with Flash.
Want to goose the Brazen Borrower.
That's weird.
Just like all over it.
They take 1, and then we play a Gilded Goose. Which they play a Brazen Borrower in response to. Okay. I mean, that's fine, I guess. We can't play Massacre Girl this turn, but I guess I'll end my turn. We can make a food at the end of our turn. Or at the end of their turn, I mean. No blocks if you attack. Pass to attackers. They have Uro. But then this dies. It's fine. I'll block. Pass to blockers. Block with this one. I don't really feel like taking 3. No. And that's going to die anyway when we play this, and it's kind of the only thing in our hand right now, so... They untap all their lands, but first we are going to make a food token.
Please and thank you.
Because we can. Cool.
Because delicious.
They're thinking of doing something, I guess? No, they're not. We drew a Stomping Ground. That's annoying. Well, let's go to combat. And attack with everybody but the goose for another 4 damage.
Goose 'em.
They take it all. Which means that we can play a Stomping Ground tapped and a Massacre Girl. They know every other card in our hand anyway. I guess we might as well make a food. We've got literally nothing else going on, and everything else is going to die, so... Yup. Cat dies. Okay, so before that happens... Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay, we just don't...
I was going to say, I feel like, I don't know if you're going to have time to make a food
We
now.
didn't... I mean, I thought we would have had priority at some point, but we didn't, but that's totally fine. We can end our turn. I don't know why they haven't played Uro yet. Oh, they exile 5 other cards. Well, now they have 6, so they can absolutely do it now.
Maybe you just reminded them by massing over
No. They only just got their 5th card in their graveyard now, because they're using every card to play
I thought
Uro.
you were saying they had 6.
Well, they did. Uro's the 6th.
but 2. Okay.
Yeah. So they needed 5 and then Uro.
Gotcha.
So they're at 10, but then they gain 3 life and draw a card. It resolves, and it stays. So now they have a 6/6. Okay. But Massacre Girl has Menace. And this does not have Trample. So we can block this with the cat and bring it back with a food at least 3 times.
Oh.
And 4 times 3 is 12. Crap. Well, fine. Everything dies except Uro, of course. But the cat can come back, as Amy has liked to sing. They keep it on top and then draw it. Pass to attackers, which they can't attack, and then we get this back. Sacking this food. Perfect. Resolves. And we draw what for our turn? Yay!
Oh.
Oh!
What?
The -4 on Liliana makes them sack a creature. We'd have to sack ours too. But they'd sack Uro.
Yeah, I hate so much sacking that Cauldron Familiar.
Okay, that was a really good top deck for us. Hell yeah!
Yes,
Okay, so Uro goes away. Now again, it can escape again, but they need 3 more cards in their graveyard for that. And our creature died, so we draw a card. Would you look at what we drew?
Familiar. It is pretty familiar.
So good. All right, so we pass this turn. They draw. They have 3 unknown cards in their hand, and this is not in our hand, so they know we have this in our graveyard. They play another Wilderness Reclamation. That is not a concern, because all it says is at the beginning of their end step, they untap all lands they control. So having 2 of them means nothing at all. And now those will proc. They're tapping a bunch of mana. Oh, okay. So here's how this works. They're tapping a bunch of mana. Then this first ability happens, where they untap all their lands.
Okay.
So that one ability resolves. Then all their lands untap. Now this ability is still on the stack, so they tap all their lands again and add a bunch more mana.
What do they really need all of this for?
Well, we've seen a couple of good X spells, haven't we?
Yeah.
What about that card, X and 2 colors, Expansion Explosion, that deals X damage and they draw X cards? So, I mean, I guess we're going to do this now.
Yeah.
Why not? Bring them to 8.
You want to live.
I mean, that one life won't be why we live. It's just that it's something that we can do in response to the fact that they're going to have a lot of mana. If X is 2 with the green, then let's see if I can do this math quickly. I can't. 18 and 9 is 27. So X equals 27. They can kill us if they have Explosion now. What are you waiting for? They have it. X is 25. Exactly. So they kill us and make us draw 25 cards.
That's bizarre.
Yep. Well,
I love how our hand looks. That's incredible.
we did lose though. We lost our first one.
We did lose, but they were at 8.
Yeah,
so...
no, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, Amy, so what did you think?
That was pretty cool.
Was this fun?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Good. So hopefully you all enjoyed.
Even losing it was fun.
Yeah. Do we care about this? Do we want to go for this? Using these sleeves?
I don't know.
Okay. It would be to like customize our constructed decks that we don't make. So
yeah,
it's not a huge deal. I also don't want this video to be like 3 hours long. No. So thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. I did enjoy myself. I misplayed a couple times, but I don't think it was anything that so drastically affected us that that's why we lost.
Right.
I think they had a very good play. And I don't think I don't think that anything that we did was it's so incorrect that it caused us to be the ones to lose.
Right.
There was no way that we could have made them lose that other Wilderness Reclamation. So, and if there was, then if there was and we missed it, please let me know in the comments down below, because obviously that is why they won. They had like almost exact amounts to destroy us. They just
waited until they got to a point where they were able to just kill us outright by using that card.
And notably, if we had one more mana open, right? We had one untapped land. Yeah. If we had one more untapped, we could have used a food and gained 3 life. Because we had a food on the field. We could have sacked it and gained 3 life. But we didn't have the mana. I specifically noticed that when I sacked a food to bring the cat back. I was like, oh, I guess we could use this last food to gain life if we really need to. But we only had 1 land. Oh. So... so yeah, there you go.
Well, now we know that for next time too.
Yeah, but thank you all so very much for watching. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed it. Please let us know any and all thoughts you have down in the comments below. Liking, commenting, subscribing, clicking the bell, checking out our other channels. It helps us out a lot. But again, hopefully you enjoy the things that we do here. But for us here now from the Geek for All family of channels, I have been Joe.
And I'm Amy.
And as we always say, in whichever video of ours you watch next, we will see you all next time. Thanks, everybody.